Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Report. My name is Nareg, and this is your Manchester United versus Newcastle United match reaction. So, as we all know, we lost yesterday 2-0 at home at Old Trafford, playing miserably for the first 30 minutes. The game got better later on, but overall, it wasn't good. Amarim didn't seem satisfied one bit, and he didn't look happy at all. He seemed frustrated. He seemed out of options. He didn't know what to do. And so this is your match reaction. We're going to be talking about the match, what went well, what didn't go well. We're going to be rating our players, giving them stars out of 10, 6 being the average. So stay tuned and talk in the chat if you agree or disagree with me. What went badly was the start. The first 25 minutes was pretty awful. I think the formation that Amarim started with wasn't ideal. I don't think it was ever going to work with Casemiro and Eriksen. The midfield was overrun. They weren't tracking back players. They weren't getting their passes right. Casemiro had so many missed short passes. It wasn't good. And Amad Diallo didn't play particularly well, even though he played 90 minutes. There was a lot of things that went bad. Xerxes coming off after 30 minutes because of tactical change. What does that mean for him? Is he going to stay in January or is he going to leave on loan? Rashford on the team sheet after 5 games, but did not play a minute in the game. What does that mean? Is he definitely leaving? Why was he on the team sheet anyway? Is that a PR stunt? Is Amarim trying to say, hey, it's not my fault. If he practices well, he'll be on the team sheet? We don't know. We have to wait and see what's going to happen with Rashford. We have to wait and see what's going to happen with Xerxes. We're going to have to wait and see if we're going to get a left back. There's a lot of unknowns, and Ineos need to be active in this January transfer window. But let's get into it. Player ratings. First goal, I would say that is completely on the defenders, basically not man marking and not keeping up with the players, not looking around them, just looking at the ball. I think they were trying to defend zonally, which was pretty bad. The pass out wide to Hall, he was completely free, tons of time to put a good cross in, and Isaac was not being marked, and he had a free header, something you do in your practice, very easy to score. So let's start with Onana. How do I think he performed? Onana seems to be pretty bad at coming out of his line. He seems to be scared. He seems to be just afraid to come out of his line and claim that area and command that area. And I think the first goal was completely on him. And I think that he jumped in his place where other keepers would have jumped sideways and waited for the ball. And so I don't think he particularly performed well. His passing was good, but all his passing is sideways. So I think De Gea can still pass sideways. I don't think we need to get rid of De Gea because he couldn't pass sideways. So I do put him at fault for at least one of the goals. The other goal, I would say Martinez should have done better with Joelinton. So starting with Onana, I think I will give him a 4 in this game. And I think he is playing subpar. I think he had some good performances in the past. He hasn't been doing well lately, but we know he's capable of doing a bit more. He said it himself. You don't go from being the best goalkeeper in Syria to being a bad goalkeeper overall. So whether he has been having continuously bad form or he's just not as good as De Gea, that remains to be seen. But I think I would give him 4 out of 10 for his performance against Newcastle United. Martinez, he was given the armband. I think he was the worst out of the 3 center backs. Though he had the best long passes and the best through balls. So we can see several chances created by Martinez. We saw the Amad Diallo against Man City goal. We saw the through ball for Højlund, which was a great opportunity. He seems to be a really good passer, and even though he's not being at his best, maybe positionally he's not comfortable as three center backs, but I think that he is one that we have to keep relying on because we don't have a left-footed center back. And so he did do a mistake with the goal. He wasn't tracking Joelinton back. He wasn't man marking him, and he was overpowered by Joelinton. So I don't think he played as bad as people thought he played. So I think I would give him a 5 for this game. Maguire, let's talk about Maguire. I think he's been a revelation. Maguire, I think he's been playing really well in a back three. I'm actually pretty happy that he's getting a lot of game time. I think he solidified playing in the center position of the back three. I think that is his position now to lose. And if anything goes wrong, it's going to be on him. I don't think anyone else will be able to take that from him. De Ligt is my second best center back, but Maguire seems to have solidified that center back position, and I think he will do well for the rest of the season. He's not young anymore, so we have to look past him in the coming seasons. But I think for this season, he has solidified that center back position, and I think he performed pretty well. He had a chance that hit the post, so he was good going forward. He was good in defense. I don't think he's responsible for any of the goals that were scored on us. So I think I would give him a solid... I was going to say 6. Yeah, I'm going to say 6 because the whole team didn't perform well. So he was average. I don't think he was below average. So I think he played pretty average for me. Good moments, not a lot of bad moments. So I would say 6, maybe 6.5 is what I would give Maguire. Let's talk about De Ligt. I think he did well playing on the right side, which does require more covering on the wing. I think he did well, and he stepped up to that position. I would think in the future that would be Lenioro's position, and I think Lenioro has a higher ceiling than De Ligt has, even though De Ligt, when he was younger, everyone was talking about the promises of what kind of player he's going to be. I think there's still a big player in him. I think he is a top 4 defender, top 4 team defender, and I think he didn't put a foot wrong in the game. For both goals, he was trying to block the ball, so he wasn't responsible for marking any of the Newcastle players, and I think that he did do okay. So I'm going to give him a 6 as well. He was average, no fault of his own, so I think he is playing pretty well for us. Let's talk about Delot. I don't think Delot is particularly working on the left. He's scared to take on players and cross, although he did do that twice, and one of them we almost scored from it. So he needs to do that more consistently, and he needs to do that more often. And he needs to be comfortable going wide and crossing with his left foot. We don't need him to cut inside and shoot. And that was what he was doing the last few games. But I think what we need him to do is get to the wide areas and cross the ball in. And I think we saw from 2 crosses that he had one very good opportunity. And so he needs to do that more. I'm going to say defensively, he wasn't as good. And offensively, other than those 2 wide plays and crossing, I don't think he performed particularly well. So I'm going to give him a 5 in this game. Let's talk about Mazraoui now. Mazraoui has been the standout player of the season. He's been consistent for most of the season. The last few games, he hasn't been particularly playing well. I'm not sure if that has to do with system, if anything changed, or Amorim wants him to play differently. But going forward, he's not doing as well. And yesterday, Anthony Gordon had him in his pocket. If I'm being honest, I don't think he played particularly well defensively. I don't think he particularly played well offensively. So I think I would give him a 5 as well. But he's a huge player for us. He's still young. He's not getting injured. He's been playing consistently well before this month. And so I think he will be back, and he will be back to his best very soon. Now, if there was any phrase that we can use for the worst player of the game, dud of the match, or whatever it is, I think I would give that to Casemiro. I think Casemiro was absolutely horrific. not good at intercepting passes, not good at breaking plays, which is what he should be good at. Not good at short passes. 5-yard passes, he's missing them. Missed a incredibly good opportunity in front of the goal when Kobe Mainoo intercepted the ball and passed it to him. And he was complaining to Kobe Mainoo, and I still don't understand what the reason behind that is. That was the best option that Kobe Mainoo could have done, passing him the ball. And he completely missed the target. And so he choked and he didn't play well defensively. And so I'm going to give him a 3. And I think that was the lowest mark I would give. Maybe 2.5 even. I don't think he played particularly well at all. And I think 350,000 doesn't justify having him in the team. And we need to look to move him on. Christian Eriksen, I was surprised he played most of the game. I'm surprised that he stayed on for as long as he did. And I don't think he particularly played well, even when Mainoo came on and he went as a number 10. I think he should have been subbed instead of Xerxes when Mainoo came on. So I don't think Eriksen played well at all. I don't think he created any chances. I don't think he passed the ball particularly well. I don't think he had any opportunities to score the ball. He's not good in the air. So I don't understand why he had to play so many minutes. I would have preferred Xerxes to be there, even though initially Xerxes wasn't playing well. But Xerxes wasn't the worst of them, and I think Eriksen should have been the one to be subbed off and kept the same kind of formation, have Kobe Mainoo playing alongside Casemiro and having Xerxes up front, who offered way more than Eriksen did, even though Xerxes wasn't playing well. So I think I would give Eriksen a 4. Amad Diallo, I would say this is the worst game I've seen Amad Diallo play, at least this season, since his resurgence. So I think Amad Diallo didn't play well at all. I think he was kind of I don't think he was in the right mindset. I think he was preoccupied. Every time he got the ball, he wasn't scanning around, and the opposition was always coming and taking the ball away from him. I don't think he was taking players on. He seemed timid. He seemed afraid. He was losing the ball. He wasn't passing straight. He didn't create any opportunities. I think this is the worst game I've seen Amad play. There's a great player there, so I'm not gonna talk him down too much. I think there's a great player there, and I believe that he is the one to play for Manchester United for the next several years. So although this game, I think I would actually give him a 4, and I don't think he deserves any more than that. Let's talk about Xerxes. 30 minutes, subbed out. Was it his fault? Was he the worst player on the pitch at that time? I do not think so. Is there a player there? Yes, maybe. Maybe not a starter, but a bench player. I think technically he's good. I think his link-up play is good. He wasn't in the game long enough. The 2 goals weren't his mistakes, but because we were 2-0 down, we needed to make a change, and he was the scapegoat, and he needed to come off for that tactical change. So he didn't particularly play well. I think there's a player there, not necessarily a starter, maybe a bench player. So I think I would give Xerxes. He didn't do a lot of mistakes. I would give him 4.5, but I'm just gonna put a 4-star for him for now. So yeah, Xerxes 4.5. That's what I'm giving him. A lot of people are hating on Højlund, and I really don't understand why. We didn't create a lot of chances. He had 1 chance created for him when Martinez released him with a through ball. It was a very tight angle, and he could have done better, but that's not something every striker scores. That's not a chance that every single striker is going to score from. I think he was on his left foot, and it was a very tight angle, and so he did well with what he had, basically. And so people that are blaming him for not scoring that chance, I don't think that's fair at all. He was playing against 2 monsters of center backs, and he was winning at least 50% of his duels, and I think he was doing well to hold up the play. He was losing the ball a bit with the link up, and he didn't get in good positions all the time, but there wasn't any chances created for him to do so. So I think he was average, maybe just a bit below average. So I think I would give Højlund a 5.5, very close to a 6. So I don't think he was at fault much of what he did. He was doing the best that he can. Actually, I'm going to give him a 6. I think he deserves a 6. He was average, and I don't think he was at fault for anything that happened in this game. I think he was running when he didn't need to run. He was pressing. He was chasing after the ball, which isn't what a striker needs to be doing. He needs to be taking his chances, but that's the type of game we're playing lately, is running after the ball, and he was doing that without complaining, and he was fighting off 2 big center backs. Kobbie Mainoo, I'm gonna give him a 7, and I think he was the man of the match. I think he played really, really well since he came on. The whole dynamic of the team changed. I think he controlled the ball. He broke plays. He intercepted balls. He created chances. He did everything we hoped Kobbie Mainoo would be doing. And I think that was a vintage Kobbie Mainoo when he was at his best. And I think he was playing really well, and he changed the whole system of the game. And I think that substitution needed to happen. Even though Amorim sacrificed Xerxes for it, that substitution still needed to happen. And I'm glad Kobbie Mainoo came on, and I think he deserves 7 and man of the match. So well done to him. Garnacho, on the other hand, had 27 minutes to play, and he didn't take that opportunity to produce a single chance. He didn't take that opportunity to produce a single good moment. I think he was awful, and he couldn't take players on. He couldn't get in good positions. I thought Marcus Rashford would have been better in that position. We were playing balls on top of the defenders, behind the defenders, and he wasn't making the runs. He was just waiting to receive the ball in order to start dribbling, and he wasn't successful with his dribbles. He wasn't making runs behind the defense. And so I think Garnacho, with 27 minutes, he should have done much, much better. He was running around. I think he was trying to prove to Amorim, I'm going to run around and track back and do all these things you want me to do. But offensively, which is what he's there for, he wasn't good at all. And I think I would give him a 4 right there. Lenny Yoro came on, and initially I didn't understand why, because I thought Martinez was the best center back passer. So he was creating a lot of chances, Martinez. When Lenny Yoro came on, I thought we're not going to create as much chances. But then when that corner came in and he almost scored from a header, I thought that maybe that's why Amorim put him in. Having 3 center backs that are good in the air, maybe will start to become better with set pieces. So I think that's the reason Lenny Yoro came on. He didn't put a foot wrong defensively, and he had that really close chance with the corner. So I think I would give him an average 6. Anthony came on, and Anthony came on with 10 minutes to go, and I don't think he put a foot wrong. I've been saying this for a while to the people I know. I think Anthony deserves a start as a right wing back. I think when he's playing with Amad Diallo, he offers so much more than what Mazraoui offers. I think then you have 2 players that can take on players. He's good with... I know his shooting hasn't been good, and he hasn't scored in a long, long time. But I think there is a player in there to cross the ball or shoot. I think technically he's better than Mazraoui. Defensively, he's going to be weaker. But I think that he can play in that position, and I think we need to give him a chance to play as a right back. So he didn't put a foot wrong. I'm going to give him an average 6. Coming to Amorim, the last person to give a score to, he didn't particularly choose the right formation, in my opinion. I think that he should have not picked Casemiro and Eriksen in the same team. I don't think that the midfield should have started. Every other substitution he did was better, except for Garnacho. I would have put Marcus Rashford if he's part of the plans, but if he's not, then he had no other choice but to play Garnacho. I would have played Anthony a bit earlier. I think he offered a bit more than what Garnacho did. And so I would give Amorim a 5. I think his starting formation wasn't good, but he had to make that tough decision to put Maino in and change the game before it ran away from us. And so once Maino came on, we had a lot more chances than Newcastle did. We were dominating possession, and we were playing in Newcastle's on half. So I think that was a very smart decision by Amrim, although it seems sacrificial to Xerxes. So we needed to do that. That needed to happen. But his starting lineup wasn't ideal, and I think that's where he went wrong. So that's what I think of the match reaction. That's what I think of the player rating. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. If not, let me know. You can follow me on X, the Red Report -MU. I'm gonna start posting there, and make sure you subscribe and like the channel if these are the type of videos you enjoy. It's New Year's Eve, so be safe, do not drink and drive, and enjoy your New Year's party.